A circle of teenage friends accidentally encounter the ancient evil responsible for a series of brutal murders that have plagued their town for over 300 years. Welcome to Shadyside. First of all, this first film in Netflix's new horror trilogy is something of a disappointment. It's more bore than gore. It feels willfully bland and generic, although perhaps that's the idea. We'll only really know once the others have been released. The movie had a decent opening sequence. It's an effective one, evoking slasher movies of the past, while setting up an intriguingly menacing tone and pulpy aesthetic, hinting that even if this film won't offer much in the way of originality, it should still be a fun ride. This opening sequence had the audience extremely excited for what was to come, even more so after witnessing the Scream Mask kill scene. Little did we know it would all be downhill from here. The remaining 90 minutes do little to deliver on that initial promise. The rest of the plot has our main characters being pursued and hunted by a string of killers from Shadyside's history. Our team of protagonists has to evade and/or try to defeat the slashers while also figuring out the mystery of why they're after them and working through their assorted relationship issues. The movie unfortunately cannot manage to use the same influences to create something that feels genuinely fresh and unique. It's evoking older slashers without ever quite finding its own distinctive voice. One of its biggest problems is the plot, which becomes increasingly convoluted as the film goes on and just never feels particularly engaging. There's an unmistakable timidity to the script. While illogical plots can work fine in horror films if the set pieces are good enough or the character dynamics compelling enough, there just isn't enough going on here to stop it all from getting a little boring. Although there are some decent individual performances, the 5 leads in the cast never quite gel as a group. This is a movie in which a lot of stuff happens, yet at the same time nothing at all. Scenes are repetitive, tedious, and often play out too long, inevitably serving very little purpose. The cat and mouse games with the killers becomes far too predictable and repetitive, especially after the prologue, which seems to break that cycle before it even begins. It appears that instead of focusing on a well-written script, the filmmakers had more of a concern with the needle drops. Not just the songs seem to be sporadic, but also is its focus. Is this a homage to slashers of the past, or a supernatural witch story? Or maybe it is a detective story with a side of spooky. The movie clearly doesn't know what it wants to be. Overall, this movie is not good, but it does make you keen to find out whether the next one can redeem it.